But what do you think about it's kind of missing in today's wrestling, and would that work in today's wrestling? Kind of the ethnic stereotype. You have your Japanese wrestler who's going to do the Pearl Harbor deal, and your Russian wrestler and your German wrestler from Germany. Who, the kind of the ethnic stereotypes. They've gone away from that quite a bit. Do you think that's something they can do today without offending sponsors and people in general?
I think it depends. I mean, my friends and I had this running gag joke about like all black wrestlers who do a headbutt.
Yeah.
Especially if they were from like the West Indies, because it was like Coco Beware, Special Delivery Jones, and we used to have this running gag at one, and it would happen every so often. Like they'd headbutt, like Butch Reed would headbutt Junkyard Dog, and he'd be like shake it off, and be like, "Oh no, you didn't." And then you had like anybody with American Indian descent, you'd have like Chief so and so, or the names would be some sort of feather name,
Yeah. Your young bloods and your strong bows,
right?
Tatankas.
And I think what happened, like I look at Tatanka, who wasn't a very good performer in the ring, but he could do okay.
Good look. He had a good look. And
yeah, he had a good look.
Okay, promo.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them do a pretty good look. But the thing is, like when the gimmick's all they bring to the table, that's kind of where I think it loses its luster. Like it's like when the Red Sox had the idiots, they all had beards, all that stuff. They had various things, but they could win. Well, same idea I think with nowadays is that you can be to a certain extent you can get away with it, but I think if it becomes all your character, if you will, then it kind of runs out of steam.
I mean, I definitely agree. You look at someone like Wahoo McDaniel, who again had a Native American gimmick, but he was such a versatile worker and such a great promo that he transcended the gimmick.
Right.
I think another person who did that, and you wouldn't even think of him as a foreign heel, is Roddy Piper. He was Scottish and he wore a kilt. I mean, that's the definition of a foreign heel, but he was a heel because he was a heel. He wasn't a heel because he was Scottish. And I think that's the difference there. Now, you can have a Japanese person who's a heel and maybe does traditional Japanese stuff, but the fact that there's Japanese is not what makes them a heel. It's being a heel is what makes them a heel. I think that's where people, kind of get lost. Where back in the day, they were, if you're a Nazi, they're booing you. If you're a Russian, they're automatically booing you. And sometimes in the South, if you were, black, they were booing you as well.
Yeah, and how dare you, be a Nazi? Come on now. No, I think it's like sort of, for example, you notice for a long time they would do the like hot villain of the moment, but like let's say for example, Sergeant Slaughter turns heel against Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
They had Sheik O'Donnell, KC, whatever he was.
Yeah.
Iron Sheik, Colonel Mustafa. And it was this whole like Iraq gimmick, but I haven't noticed them do an ISIS gimmick.
They had the terrorist gimmick with Muhammad Hassan. That was a long time ago.
But I'm saying like it's been probably 5 years or more.
Yeah, I mean I don't think they're touching that one at all. If this was the 1960s, they'd be all over that. I mean every other if you had dark skin, you're going to be from the Middle East.